And here to help us get financially fit is finance expert and founder of MoneySherpa.ie, Mark Coan. Good morning to you, Mark.
Mark, how are you?
And I was just saying to you, is there a time of year where people get a bit stressed thinking, OK, we're coming into the winter, bills and Christmas, but you said it's January that people get stressed.
Yeah, that's really the hangover, but that's why talking about it now really is the perfect time. So that kind of sense of dread that people have around finances.
All the bills come in January.
Yeah, so really that dread's about not feeling in control. So what you really want to do is take back control by getting financially fit. And there's two things really that you're looking to do. So the first thing is to spend less. And if you think about it, that's a little bit like getting your diet right when you're getting physically fit. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing is to earn more. And that's a little bit like...
We all want to do that.
Exactly. That's a little bit like exercise. So that's kind of building the financial muscle. So if you can do those two things, you can kind of make that sense of dread go away a little bit.
So that's spending less. For you, it's the...
OK, how do I spend less?
No, because I do think it's the repercussions. We are seeing pubs, we're seeing coffee shops, we're seeing little places closed down all over the place because we're all spending less.
Yeah.
We don't have more money in our pocket because of the cost of living. Can I honestly ask you, we lived on credit during the Celtic Tiger. We were all living on credit. Yeah. But now we're not anymore in Ireland. We've got loads in savings. But yet it does seem like everyone is at the pin of their collar. Is this one of the worst times that you have seen it for financial reasons in Ireland?
There's no doubt that households are really feeling the pain
it
at
feels
the moment.
Everywhere.
And I think that's why this conversation around kind of how do you get financially fit is more important than ever. So, I mean, there are two ways you can spend less. The first is to buy for less, which is really around shopping around. So on average, an Irish household can save €7,000 just by, there's a lot of work in this, it's not that easy, but just by going through every single kind of service that they're spending on and looking for the cheapest supplier.
Is this like switching your telephone supplier or your Wi-Fi or whatever, your health insurance?
It is, and the biggest kind of the two big hitters are mortgages is number one. So we were just talking about that, Mary. So mortgages are typically, an Irish household can save $2,000 a year by switching their mortgage to the best rate. And the reason that's such a good one is the average term that's left on somebody's mortgage is 15 years. So if you save $2,000 a year for 15 years, that's $30,000. So that can make a huge difference.
When you look at it like that.
Yeah. The other big one is really about being organised, and that's the weekly shop. So by kind of just shopping once and not popping to the local store.
Does that make a big difference?
It does. So if you're shopping in one of the discounters and you're shopping once and you're not popping out to your local convenience store to just top up your shopping because you've forgotten this bit, you've forgotten that. That on average for an average Irish household is around $1,000 a month. So those two,
$1,000 a month.
Yeah. So those two can make a really big.
Oh Lord,
$1,000 a month.
A year. Sorry.
A year. Okay, a year. Okay, a year. I was going to say, what are you eating? What are you eating?
We would have solved everything there.
Yeah, and also, like, we have become this cashless society, so we're just tapping all the time. You're a big believer if you have cash, you will spend less.
Yeah. Listen, there was a great piece of research that came out recently. So just by going back to cash and taking the card off the phone and leaving your cards at home, it's been shown that you spend 20%. So just physically having to hand over cash causes people to think, hang on, rather than just tap,
20% less?
20% less on your budget. That's what the research
Okay, that's huge.
It is huge.
So we're going from, in that regard, we're going from everything, from everyday items popping to the shop all the way through to clothes.
Yeah. And it's because it's discretionary. When we were talking earlier, Miriam, it is hard for certain stuff you've just got to spend money on, and you've got to live your life as well. What we're trying to do here is make it just a little bit difficult to stop spending that wasting the money. Yeah. So by just taking a minute and moving back to cash, you can do that. The two other things you can they're fairly handy to save on. I don't want to be a killjoy, but the drink and smoking, on average, if you're a drinker and you're a smoker, that's $4,000 a year for the average Irish household. Now, the truth is, almost all that's going to the revenue. So anything you can cut back, on that is really good. Yeah. And just this one's I like this one because it's really the simplest, and you can probably do this now. So home heating. So just 1 degree on the thermostat. Now, this may cause war in the house, but 1 degree on the thermostat
would save you how much?
Well, and 10 degrees on your boiler. Your boiler's probably set to around 60. You drop that down to 50. Skin starts to burn at around 45, so you don't need to be at 60 on your boiler. That's $400 a year. So you could go into the kitchen now, tweak those two down, and that's $400
all these little things that were people
if he's watching don't you dare.
No, but people looking in this morning, we can make all those savings, but you're also going to say, earn more. People are going, well, I have my job, I have my wages, it's sorted. How can I earn more?
Yeah, this is the one people just don't think about. So there's a couple of things. So obviously, you have your job. The employment market is pretty tight at the moment. So the power's actually with the employees. So you can look at other jobs. You can also threaten to look at other jobs and ask your employee, because you're probably more valued at work than you think you are. You've probably got more bargaining power. So that's the first thing you can do. Second thing is side hustles. So one thing that people don't think about are things like renting out a room, for example. So that's another way to increase your income.
Is that 13,000 or 18,000 tax free?
Yeah, it's the tax relief on it is absolutely fantastic, because obviously the government's trying to tackle some of the housing crisis, and so they're trying to free up more rooms and more accommodation. So you can really take advantage of that, because it is tax-free money if you have got a spare room, and you're probably helping somebody out as well in terms of the housing crisis. And then the other option that you have, which I quite like, is there's lots of platforms now where you can just work online and do pretty mindless stuff. So instead of scrolling through Instagram at the evening, you can actually scroll through, train an AI, and get paid for it. So, you know, these are little tips that you can...
Through what?
So you can actually go on a platform like Upwork, and you can train, you can swipe, and you can be training an AI, and you can be getting paid for it. It's just like using Insta, but you're getting paid.
Training someone to take over our jobs, Mark. It's terrible. So little things people can be doing online, earn a little bit more money if that's what they want to do.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
There you go.
There you go. You'll be swiping
So
left, right.
I'm turning down the heating. I'm going to go to the shops once a week.
0896 111 111. Some of your money saving tips we would love to hear
What
from
are you
today.
doing at the moment?
Thank you so much, Mark Coan, founder of moneysherpa.ie. Thank you so much.